mind. How can teachers get started implementing formative assessment? If I've not thought about formative assessment, how you've shared with us just now, how do we get started in implementing that on a regular basis?
Yeah, we start right. We suggest a cycle that sort of mirrors how you would think in a classroom. So first of all, you want to find out what your students know and are able to do. So you administer a rich task, some kind of prompt um, that allows you to see student thinking. And then you examine that student thinking to find where kids are successful and where kids are need additional instruction. They might have some common errors that occur. They might be holding misconceptions. There could be some flaw in their reasoning or their logic. There also, you can mind it for positive attributes like unique or successful approaches that some students use. You can mind it for good explanations or other things. And you actually take the students' work and their thinking and you create a new lesson based on your students' own thinking. And then you present that to your students for them to critique the reasoning of others and to surface these misconceptions. And you do this with your whole class because it's not just learning from others' mistakes is such a rich and powerful um, way of learning that that all the students actually benefit from a process where they're looking and critiquing others' reasonings. So that is the cycle that we suggest that teachers do. You sort of slow down the process and do it over time. Do a formal kind of assessment, examine student thinking, you grab students' ideas and then represent them to their students. And that's what we call the formative assessment cycle that teachers should engage in for professional learning. And once you do that on the slower basis, then you're going to naturally be thinking about those more in the moment, and you can have these shorter formative assessment cycles in real time. You know, there is a very interesting PhD study. I won't name the person right now, but the PhD study was at this very large, prestigious university, and he found out that different um, different groups of students had study groups in their AP Calculus class, and even though to get into this college, you had to be at the top of your high school class when you to even get into this college. So every student in that college had proved that were very, very capable in high school mathematics. And they were now at the university and they were in AP classes, and a number of students were struggling. And the researcher wanted to answer the question about why are some students seeming to succeed and others not, when they all seem to be coming with uh, a lot of success in prior years. And so what he did was he actually went to the study groups and he started looking at how kids in study groups were working together. What were they doing that made this study group maybe more successful than that study group? And what is characterized in this PhD thesis is that in most study groups, the students would say, okay, we're doing this page of work. Okay, problem 5. Karen, how did you do 5? Because you got it right. How did you do problem 5? And Karen would explain how she did problem 5. And then you go on to say, Dennis, you did really good on problem 7. Tell us how you did on problem 7. And so everybody learned from the person who seemed to get that question right, and so forth. But that didn't seem to produce the same results as another study group where the kids were actually looking and they would say, Shirley, look at number 5, you did it wrong. Let us know how you did it wrong. Tell us what you were thinking. What we want to know the trap we might fall in if you to find out what you've done it wrong. And actually, those study groups actually seem to learn more and perform more. And it actually turned out that they were more successful in the AP calculus class. This idea of being able to look at student thinking and focus on the thinking and the reasoning versus just who got the answer right and tell me how you got it right is so much different. And I think those elements are what come out in really effective formative assessment.
Yeah, I love that idea of learning with those student thinking and their mistakes.